Ever felt lost online finding the right businesses?
Absolutely, like a needle in a haystack.
Introducing the worldwide Awake Business Directory.
Tell me more.
It's your hub for businesses sharing your values. Discover eco-friendly products, socially responsible services, and more.
Count me in. I'll check it out straight away.
Find businesses aligned with your values on the Worldwide Awake Business Directory. Start making a difference with every purchase.
And you're listening to The One Thing on Edge Radio Australia. And it's so good to be back, guys. Aaron and Leanne, who's saying that she's sick after being away twice.
Of course she's sick, yes. Yes, so sick of having holidays, pretty much.
I think that might be the problem. Yeah. And we're back on a Wednesday. How good is that? We've had a little break and we're back fresh, and we've got a fabulous guest today. But I'd love to pass to Aaron first. How are you?
Oh, okay. How am I? I've missed you too.
Yes.
You know, some would say like a hole in the head, but I would say it's been, it's been quiet, especially without Leanne.
I think we're his favourites.
Oh,
yeah. I think someone else is stepping in our shoes there, Lisa, a little bit. Gonna have to ramp it back up.
I hate it when mum and mum fight. Okay, you notice how I'm trying to make myself feel younger.
Yeah.
I know.
How rude.
Most immature. Anyway,
that's for sure. Now, let's jump into this because we have a special guest.
We do. We have a fabulous guest. Thank you so much for joining us, Adele.
You are so very welcome.
Yeah. So before I explain to everybody what your gifts are, I would love for you to share how you even came to be here today, because that's just such a fabulous story.
It is. It's a beautiful story. It's definitely a beautiful story. It's a long one, and I'll keep it short.
It's all good time.
I guess how I landed where I am today was a really beautiful, beautiful story. It was a very beautiful journey of following my heart, following my passion in different professions, different jobs, and kind of allowing myself the freedom to, when that joy or that spark kind of disappeared and veered off in another direction, to just jump on board and go with it. So that led me through from personal training and nutrition, going into sports science. The human body has always fascinated me. That led me into more of a one-on-one personal situation with caring and looking after people, into working with our older population, and then into my nursing. And it was one of the most amazing lecturers. I will never forget her, Lynn, my science lecturer. And it was during all of my chemistry lessons that my entire world it changed.
That I didn't expect, like as far as chemistry. That is not where I thought you were going.
I know.
You tricked me. Look at that, Adele.
I know.
All right, well, please explain, because, that's a curious one.
Yeah, it was like everything kind of fell into place. Okay. Everything kind of didn't have clear explanations for me. There was these feelings and then this knowledge, and there was this gap in between that just I could never quite figure out. And it's what I'd been trying to search for, this gap, this something is missing, there is something more. And it was during all of these chemistry lessons that everything just became really simple. It became so clear and so simple. It was just all the grey had disappeared, because nursing is just a whole world.
So you're a registered nurse, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, registered nurse
and a holistic practitioner.
Yes.
And you've been doing that for 13 years.
Yeah, well, in the wellness and health industries for 13 years.
And how did you meet Leanne? I'd love for you to share that story.
That is even more beautiful as well. So we're in the process of opening up a wellness centre in a town where I live, and I had been calling in a Bowen therapist.
Right.
So I'd sat and I was like, I'm going to this wellness expo, and whatever will be, but universe, I need a Bowen therapist.
I know a good one, just so you know.
Yeah. And I was speaking to a beautiful massage therapist next to her and literally saying exactly the same. And this beautiful woman came up to my stall and said, hi, I'm really interested. What do you do? What's going on? And we got talking, and I asked her the same, what do you do? You know, and the smile that swept over my face. But what I didn't realize is, you know, we always have things come to us and we have a way of thinking how things are going to pan out and what that might look like.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea the conversations that I was going to get to share with her. I had no idea about all these different aspects of her life and what happens here with you guys, how they would all kind of blend together to create this really beautiful picture and opportunity that would then continue.
Oh, that's beautiful, Leanne. I don't want to forget you over there. Would you like to? would you like to share with us your account of
Lisa?
that?
She's forgotten us. Okay,
I haven't, and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not well enough to be there, Adele. It would have been so lovely to be there, but I don't want to give anyone else anything if I can help it. It was really interesting because it wasn't an event that I was going to go to, but because Jess wanted a hand, it's one that I fell into. And it was like you're drawn to this lady because she's all in white and, you know, it's all very serene and beautiful. And I was like, oh, who is this woman? So you're drawn in there to start with anyway, and then the conversations flows so effortlessly. And it wasn't, and then she went on Adele went on to do a presentation on sound as well at this expo, and we sat there listening to it. And I said to her, I think you need to come on on Edge Radio. You need to come on our one thing. And I think it was Tom that said, I know what Edge Radio is. And I went, oh, cool. So you are definitely coming on to Edge Radio. You're not, there's no way you're getting out of this.
No, escape now, right?
Everything aligned because we have the same values, I believe. And I think, you know, Edge being the platform it is a great one, especially for Adele and people like Adele to be able to get her message across. So, yeah.
Hey, it just occurred to me, Tom can't hear anything, can he?
No. Well, Tom can. He can hear us. He's in the same room.
Yeah, but if he puts a headphone on, he's still out of camera and he can listen, can't he?
He absolutely can. Chuck on the headphones, mate. That's fair. So, he is hiding off camera.
Yeah.
Just put a hand in the camera so we can make sure that we're... There we go. There we go. What a cameo right there. Fantastic. Tom. So, sorry, mate, you can drag your chair over, get comfy. Find a spot.
Like Aaron says, make yourself comfy. And we did say to Adele earlier that bare feet's no problem in this studio.
Not at all.
You can do a Leanne. You can put them up on the crate. Like it's all good. We're pretty sure here.
That's my only way of existing. So
not everybody is as woo-woo as us or a lot of the people that we attract. So vibrational medicine. What is that? Explain that to people that are like
vibrational medicine. Vibrational medicine is your entire life. It is the world that you live in. It is everything you do. It is everything you say. It is everything you experience. It is every single aspect of your journey in this entire life. We are energetic beings.
Look at you undersell it. Oh, jeez. I came in as the cynic. Okay, and when you said about the woohoo thing, I was, Mr. Woohoo, like woo. Okay, I was not keen on it at all. And then, look, you live, you learn, you experience, and you go, okay. And you've got to be open to it. I think that's such a big thing in life. We set our minds, the people around us, they set kind of almost the rules of engagement, if you like, of what you actually allow in your life.
Yes.
And it's nice to be open. And I mean, from my point of view, opening myself to that side of life has changed my life.
So how has it changed your life?
Well, okay, I've got, as far as the vibration point of view, I'm now aware of it and I actually now seek it out. So, and I'm going to use Leanne as an example, right? Now, a couple of years ago, I met Leanne for the first time when she was a guest on a radio show at Edge. And the moment she entered the room, okay, I just thought, there's something different about her. I don't know what it is. I love her. Okay, she's now in my life. That's how it works, right?
Did you feel the same with me?
Sure.
You should have seen the eyes he did, Leanne.
You know, right? No, we are not Australian if we're not teasing each other, right? That's my job. But yeah, but where I'm going on this is before in life, I would not have I was, oh yeah, an interview, yeah, knock this out.
Your
boom,
life
boom, boom.
changed for Leanne.
No, well,
Yeah.
before Leanne. Leanne wasn't the moment. Sorry, Leanne. But no, but what's happened through the woo flu and all that kind of carry on, and experiencing different people, and having events in my life that have, you know, taken me to have to look at, not have to, want to look at things differently, right? To look for positivity rather than negativity. And we are so trained in life with, you know, news, propaganda, It's you know, negative. So, yeah, I opened the door, and now I feel very different to it. And when I experience people now, yeah, I experience, not always, but most of the time I feel the vibration of them and the frequency.
And it's not always positive either,
No,
is it?
no.
I mean, that's the other thing. One of the things that I love about concentrating on vibrational energy, and for me, the introduction was, actually, it wasn't that long ago, if I'm totally honest, if I take it back to having a conscious awareness. And it was probably around the time that my dad passed, which was around 2017. Well, it was 2017. And I started listening to Abraham Hicks a lot. And that really changed the way that I saw things and I felt things and my perspective, and really being aware of vibrational energy and how I could adjust the way that I was living, really.
It is.
And I think for any, do you have children at all, Adele?
I have 4 children and Tom has 2. So between us, we've got the perfect Brady bunch of 3 boys and 3 girls.
Oh, well done. Do you have an Alice?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, there's no Alice.
No,
Yes.
Alice. What I would love to, what I'd love to, for you to share with people out there is, and I'm not sure how old your children are, but how would you suggest introducing this concept, which shouldn't have to even be introduced as a concept, to a baby coming up as a toddler, to make them aware and be in touch with themselves?
The beautiful thing about children is they don't have all these barriers and these walls that we've put up. You know, as we go through life, we have these experiences and we put these protective barriers in place, and sometimes they can be a bit hard to penetrate, or we can resist it. The beautiful thing with children, they are just the most exquisite open beings. So even something as simple as music that you notices lowers them or brings them into a calmer state, simply placing it, you know, any child against your chest, that rhythmic heartbeat, you know, that's the first aspect. That's that forever sound, that vibrational sound that is encoded into all of us to soothe and calm the nervous system. Humming, singing, playing, bringing joy in with sound, bringing movement that evokes joy and happiness. All of these are vibrational medicines. They align with a feeling and an emotion. And as we are doing or receiving it, we are giving and exchanging a vibration. And that's just simply through play, especially with children. Just play in and itself. Play with song, play with words, play with instruments. You know, if you've got little instruments, I know a lot of people might have maybe a little Tibetan bowl that they might have, and a lot of people might just have them on a mantelpiece as something pretty to look at. Let the kids engage, let them play.
Well,
with
for
it.
me, it was always wooden spoons and saucepans, and they grab them out.
And the beauty is the different
tactile
material of these instruments, they carry their own vibration in themselves. So allowing them to play with these different textures, these different aspects of earth, whether it's wood or metal or water, all of these sounds carry a very specific vibration to them and will evoke a different feeling within everybody's body.
And it's about what we attract as well. And this is quite woo-woo, because I spoke to my son earlier about a bit before the show, before you came in, and we talk about a lot of stuff when he calls me. We have a really in-depth conversation a couple of times each day. And he was talking to me about his childhood. He went off the rails, and he was referring back to his childhood and where he thought he went off the rails. But he was recalling a memory he had with me. And if I'm totally honest, I don't actually remember it, but it was beautiful what he shared. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a good mum. Like it made me feel really
Points for me.
warm.
Look at that.
But apparently when I used to pick him up from school and take him home, he said he was about 5. He said I would bring colours into the conversation. So if he was turning right, I'd say that was blue. And if he was turning left, that was green. I can't remember the exact colours. But this is a recollection is got of the Lisa 29 years ago raising him 24 years ago. Yeah.
And these colours as well, where he's retaining or going back into a memory, which is associating colours. Colours are a vibration. They all hold their own vibration.
Yeah.
Oh, can you explain that a little bit better to me? Because I'm not there on that one.
So every frequency will produce, not every, but a colour holds a frequency.
Okay.
That same frequency produces a sound. That same frequency produces a picture. You may have seen, there's a lot on social media where they show these magnificent shapes that are being created by vibration. And so colours hold a vibration as well as the sound and as well as a picture, and they attune or line up with certain emotions, feelings, thoughts as well. So there can always be an instance where a colour has been introduced with an action that produced an emotion. And so that kind of embeds within the body really strongly. And if it was something that created safety for him, maybe having something to refer back to, there's all of a sudden this feeling of safety, of being guided, of being nurtured, and this colour is, really vivid for him.
But isn't it wonderful to think too that if we give our children these foundations very early on, and it's for all of us. I mean, I know you had a lovely upbringing.
Yeah.
We were both very lucky
I had a
like
different
that.
experience to the wooden spoon than you did. But, I'm still running. No.
Yeah. But it is. I mean, even with our children, we've definitely implemented it with our kids. When we're processing an emotion that is, emotion, it is energy in motion. And so
I didn't know that. Did you already know
I
that?
did. There you go.
Oh, look at that. We're winning now. So when they're experiencing an emotion, they're experiencing this energy in motion through the body. Sometimes if we haven't been given the right tools, it's very hard for them to process or know what to do. And we would simply, if it was frustration, we are stomping our feet, letting that energy move. If it doesn't have an outlet, if they can't articulate, especially when they're younger, you think when a toddler maybe is getting frustrated, it shows up as a tantrum.
That's what I'm going to tell you to do next time I come in and yelling a tantrum. I'm going to say, Aaron, just stomp your feet.
Yeah. But it's however it wants to move through the body. Yeah. It's giving permission.
Yeah, okay.
That's the biggest thing is, we've been told for so long that certain emotions aren't beneficial or are bad. We put everything into this good and bad, black and white, positive and negative.
So true.
Yeah. And so it's just allowing that permission to feel. What does it sound like? And that can move through not only from children, but even, where I work under my registration. It's no different.
Did you want to share about where you work? Because that's very interesting.
Yeah, so I'm apart from my holistic practitioner and my work that I do there, I also still work under my registration. So I work as a registered nurse at a drug and alcohol rehabilitation centre. My main role is when they first come in for the detox, so not the longer program. And that's a lot of emotions for people to feel that they really haven't felt or haven't wanted to or haven't been able to
honestly,
feel.
That's a tough gig.
Yeah.
That you're seeing people at their rawest possible level, and you've got to process that. You've got to try and help them. And I would think also, how do you? Probably, I don't really want to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it. I guess, like, how do you stop that from sinking into you?
Well, it's still frequency, it's still vibration. There is an aspect of self that is still open. My energy is open to receive and open to give. But there are also aspects of my energy and very clear boundaries in where they are that allow me to kind of hold those in a space where the other is still feeling safe and accepted and seen and heard, but it's not as close to my being. It's not
practice.
Something.
Well,
it is.
Practice.
My nursing career gave me a lot of practice in that.
You've used a beautiful word though, boundaries. Okay, and this is the thing where I think so many of us, and I can certainly point right at myself on this, is not setting good boundaries in my life has caused me lots of things. And I think that with yourself, with people coming in, you'd have to set those boundaries, wouldn't you? You
Yeah,
have to be firm with
there's
them.
a very fine line.
Mm.
There's a very fine line. But the one thing that I say to each and every individual that walks through the door is welcome to feeling.
I like that.
And you kind of see that penny drop. And, you know, that can be really scary. It can be really daunting. It can evoke a full range of emotions, but it's allowing them to feel my vibration. And that can be me not saying a single word, just literally in my intention of what it is that I'm wanting for them, and allowing them to feel safe in that, allowing them to know that they've got someone there that is that soft landing, that is someone that can guide them through these uncharted
Do you find
emotions.
males and females are fairly like the same, or is there distinct differences?
Not really. Every individual is different. No one has ever walked the same journey. No one carries the same imprints. No one carries the same vibration. So I see a very huge difference in every single person, but they are very tiny little nuances. But I have been beautifully surprised, and I have equally been shocked between, whether it be an interaction with one of the gentlemen or one of the ladies in what I'm feeling as opposed to what's actually presenting. So, yeah, a bit of variation.
But in here, what's some of the tools that you use with your clients in those instances when you're first bringing them in, when you're first setting up and meeting them? What tools do you give them to help them to regulate? Do you use your sound healing in those practices as well?
So it's very varied. Again, it's up to the individual. I will gauge from the plethora of, non-word, conversations that their body, their tone, their pitch, their eye contact are telling me, and I'll kind of gauge it appropriately. And for some, initially, that might just be talk therapy. Sharing that aspect of the vibration. For some, that might be kind of going in a little bit deeper into a physical aspect. So I might notice that they might be clenching a certain part of their body. And so I might invite them to just say, what is this? What does it feel like? Can you give me a description of what that feels like? And how about we change a movement? And it might be them just repositioning in a chair and going through breath work. Breath work's a really powerful tool that I utilize. A lot of the staff there understand the power of the breath and utilize that as well. Later on down the track, generally, initially, no, it wouldn't be sound. We do sound. Actually, Tom also holds the sound baths for the residents, the longer term residents that are there. So yes, that is definitely utilized. But in those initial first couple of days, it can be a little bit too overwhelming. So it's more body movement, getting them to go out and move, getting them just to identify really, and allowing them to kind of put a sound to it, put a movement to it, and put a name to it. Because that's
something like anger that would come up. That would be one of the biggest ones, I would presume, would come up in those instances. So what's something you would help? How would you help someone if if their emotions are so full of anger and resentment and something like that?
And anger is a really interesting one because there's such a diverse range of people that come through, and it has to be in a very safe way. It's a very powerful emotion, a very beautifully powerful emotion, and harnessed in the right way can be absolutely transformational. And that might simply look like, honestly, giving them a piece of paper and letting them just go absolutely nuts and getting it out in that way, because that feels safe. There's no loud noises. It might be a bit too scary. Their etheric might not feel safe enough to go that deep that quickly. It might look like literally we are sitting there grunting, and it sounds absolutely ridiculous. But it is. It can literally just be sitting there like,
Have you been recording me at home? I mean, come on.
Well, there was sorry,
it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. And if I can sense that emotion is sitting there and it's ready to move, that it feels safe to move, then it'll be, let's go out on the lawn. Let's go out on the lawn. Put our shoes off. Let's just get that moving, shaking, a lot of shaking, allowing it to give movement.
Big fan of getting the shoes off and getting the grass between your toes. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Quick little break. Back in just a
Is
tick.
pain holding you back? Bowen Therapy with Panacea Healing can change that for you. It's never too late to recharge your health, career, or purpose. You have the power within yourself to change what no longer serves you, taking your life and health to another level. panaceahealing.com.au. You can do anything.
You certainly can do anything. And one thing we're doing right now, we're improving our lives big time, because this is something I believe in. I'm not, I don't know, I'm not a fae, I guess. I probably need to do a class or three with everything. But what I've learned so much about sound healing and the things we've been talking about, the word that has come up a couple of times and was mentioned before with Leanne was about the tools, right? Now, and obviously you're opening a new centre. It's really exciting stuff.
It is. I want to know about that.
Yeah.
exciting.
So that's kind of my question on this. Like, what tools do you bring to the party there? What is it with specifically what you're doing in the new centre that you're opening? Yeah, let's talk about it.
So my role in the new centre with other practitioners, but myself, would be acupressure. So utilising the vibrational frequencies that naturally run through the different meridians in our body.
Right.
Sound therapy, be that one-on-one or group sessions, and wellness coaching.
Right.
So all forms of vibrational medicine, but they just look very, very different.
What is the name of this wondrous place?
It is the beautiful Nannup Wellness Centre.
I love that.
So it'll be right in the heart of Nannup, a very beautiful, beautiful town. And I'm really excited.
Nannup is one of my favourite places on earth. It really is. Yeah.
Adele, tell me, this is in conjunction with the local medical centre as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was actually one of our amazing doctors in town. So he's established that he's got 3 buildings there, and his dream is to fill them all with medical practitioners. So there's already the physiotherapist, and we've got chiropractor. Oh, yes, chiropractor. I had to double check then. And then the GPs as well. And so our dream is to be able to offer all aspects of wellness. So not just
brilliant.
Our Western medicine, but having us all work synergistically together so that everyone in that community and the Southwest, because, you know, for a lot of people, even beyond us, it's quite a distance to travel.
But not a bad little break down there. Why not?
It's not.
Yeah,
it's
I can see a road trip coming on. The one thing crew, off we go.
Yes.
Why not? Well, I actually just trying to think what weekend it is, because I head down to Nannup every year for the Forest Rally. For the car racing, which I think was last weekend, this weekend. See,
it's close.
I know it's close. Okay, I thought, have I missed it? No. But I love that little town. I mean, I used to go down there back in my racing days to actually be part of it. But I would love to stay a couple of days either side if I possibly could. Stay in Stone. I used to stay in Stone House, or whatever it was. It's a beautiful place.
Yes.
Love that place. It's just the atmosphere is just so good. And for what I love what you're doing there is you're bringing, all kinds of medicine together.
Yes.
We're not going, hey, modern medicine, we don't need it, it's rubbish. Because it's not rubbish. There's elements of it that were absolutely fantastic. Not some things that, might be forced upon people.
If I've lost my arm and I'm hemorrhaging, please don't bring a sound ball over to me.
No. That's the wrong tool for the job.
But they do. They all have their place.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty of everything that we are stepping into now as a collective, is realizing that, is awakening to the ancient wisdoms that we have had available and have served us.
I'm not sure everyone's stepping into it, though.
Well, do you know what? Whether they realize it or not, there's aspects of their being that is starting to shift and change.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a change in perspective, a questioning, that's the most powerful thing.
Yeah,
Curiosity.
the questioning. Yeah, that's very true. You mentioned before, sorry, Aaron, but I just don't want to forget. You mentioned before about the etheric. What did you mean?
So our energetic bodies.
Okay.
So being that we are energetic beings and we live in an energetic world, we have energetic layers to our being. So, even though we may not be physically touching right now, our energetic bodies are already interacting.
Yes.
And that's why when you mentioned, you might come in contact with someone and you get a gut feeling. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. They are our energetic bodies meeting and having a beautiful conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just us learning to listen to those in a different way.
And
Because
dogs do that very well, don't they? Because some dogs
All
just don't
animals.
like people, do they?
all animals and children are just amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing. Their ability, there's none of these barriers that have been put up.
Something you said earlier about
Mm.
children and barriers, exactly that, and they're being far more open to it. Like, going off on a little tangent here, but
Mm.
okay, when I was a very young one, I had an imaginary friend, right? Like I'm open to it. Now I think about this, and I think as a grown adult, if I said that, okay, it'd be a nice jacket for me. It'd be white and it'd be strapped up to the back. Okay, it is beautiful that kids can experience that, whether it be fantasy or reality or whatever they have, are going through. The fact is they're open to it, and isn't it great in your life if you can just open that door a little bit again, right? That's what I think.
Do we have any comments there?
We do. There's 2 fresh ones actually, and I did want to run through
Yeah.
some of the comments if I could. So,
Oh, Rochelle's asked a question.
yeah, she certainly has. So, but okay, there we go. There was the last one that we got. There we go. Let's open this one up. So here we are. Now, if we go, so true, you will receive and gain so much more with an open mind. Completely agree with that. That's from Brooke. Thank you very much for your comment there.
Open mind is
Oh.
everything. And
It's changed
so
it.
many people don't have one.
And
Agreed.
openness doesn't mean, you were mentioning about positive and negative.
Mm.
Openness is everything.
Mm.
We are here to experience the full spectrum of
Yeah.
life, and being open and accepting to all aspects of that is just so powerful in our own growth.
Yeah.
Question from
So-
Rochelle here. What made you decide from a medical nurse to a vibrational
Great
medicine?
question.
Yeah.
For me, the biggest thing became the physical sensation within my being. So feeling like I was stuck,
Okay.
feeling like I was being held back,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I was being stopped.
Okay.
And it's the best way I can describe that. When I would have patients that I would care for, and I would see treatment, hear their story, and it was crystal clear to me of this beautiful solution that laid in the in-between, this beautiful world of the in-between, and not being allowed to share that.
Literally not being allowed.
Not being allowed.
So I used to work in an aged care home, and I had, have you ever heard of Dr. Eric Perlman? He does reconnective healing. He brought
No.
reconnective healing to the earth.
Okay.
So I had 3 sessions of reconnective healing. It would have been about 15 years ago now. And after that, I felt this amazing energy come out of my hands and my feet. And it was just so beautiful. And every time I walked into one of the oldies rooms, I had this desire, for want of a better word, to want to go up with my hands and put my hands around their head. Don't ask me why their head. But of course, I would have been taken away if I'd start
Lisa
going
is
and
now
doing
part
that.
of several investigations,
Yeah,
but
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I hear what you're saying. Once you opened up to this,
it became a physical dilemma. It became a moral dilemma. And then to the point where, in my mind, it was an ethical dilemma.
of course it had to be. And if you
And-
truly believe in, what you were doing, and clearly you do, and so many nurses, midwives that I know have gone through this and had to leave the profession because they felt pushed. They felt like their care for the patient is being put to the back.
one of
Well,
our
it wasn't
radio
through care.
presenters was a midwife who left through COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a common thing.
It
Sadly.
broke my heart, and I was lucky enough to have a beautiful human hold me through that process.
Oh, he's a good egg. He's off screen, but he's a good egg.
He's more than a good egg, that one. But it got to the point where, we have this inner knowing. All of us do.
Yeah.
This deep, deep knowing that we, in certain circumstances in our life, get to a point where it can't be ignored. And for some of us, we've got no idea what it is, and it's a bit of a blind jump. Some for a step, some off the edge of a cliff.
Yep.
Yeah.
For me, it was off the edge of a cliff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I identify with that.
But yeah, that's what pushed it, is no longer being able to just hold back and go, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that kind of care, and I'm just going to ignore all the rest of it and put it under the rug and just stick a Band-Aid on a symptom and go, you'll be right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Can I take a little opportunity just to acknowledge some of the people who are coming through with messages? Because the great thing with Edge is we go out to so many people on so many different platforms, but we can't see all of them until later. So those who have come through, I just want to acknowledge them. So for those people I'm not acknowledging, hey, through the week I'll go back and have a look and definitely interact with you guys, which is always wonderful. I want to say thank you to Trish for the welcome back. Yeah, we've missed being around. The wonderful Robin from Courage is a Cure. What an absolute relentless woman that woman is. Tell you what, fantastic to see you there. Again, look, now I'm terrible at pronunciation. Is that Shabi? I'm going to say that.
Shabi, yeah.
Shabi, if I've mispronounced your
Feels
name.
good to be here.
Yeah, well, you know what? You are very welcome. You're very much home.
And it won't let you put them up.
No, I can only put up some. That's how the game works.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
And there we go with Brooke as well. Great comment. FOGP, I don't know what's that, what their name is there, but there we go. Lots of love from Germany, long way out. Rochelle as well. So, geez, we're all over the place, all over the world here. We're in Africa, we're in Germany, we're all over the place. It's just wonderful to be able to bring everybody together and talk about this sort of stuff. So
it is.
Because you're not going to see this on Channel 7 News.
No, but you know what? I say yes, one day.
One day.
Yeah.
One
One
day.
day.
That'll be good.
Yep.
Imagine. It won't be Channel 7 News. It will be Edge Radio, Australian News.
Very good point.
Yes.
Very true indeed.
But we continue to hold space for that vibration to continue, for that vibration to grow. And it is this beautiful self-perpetuating wheel as well. Once it kind of starts, it is just self-feeding, which
That's
is
right.
really, really
So
powerful.
Oh, sorry, Leanne, you're going to say something?
No, that's okay. I was going to say this is what I was saying very early on in COVID. I said when people were really taken aback by what was happening and they stood up for what they believed in, and others were going with the flow. It was about time and process. And if all of us hold that energetic feeling and hold that energy high, those will come into the fold. They will eventually all come into the fold. And then what we create is what we call our new world, which will be such a high vibration that, all the other stuff won't come in. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and even if it still exists, because part of this journey is the vibration of acceptance.
Learning it. Yeah.
But that's just being able to sit in a space where you are still in your true essence, still holding that vibration with acceptance for anything else that may go on around. And the beautiful thing about that is that it's still received with love, even if it is all the other bits that might still float around there. Everyone, because they are in that same vibration, is able to hold that with love, to be able to hold that with compassion, to be able to hold that with acceptance and understanding. And that is a really, really powerful thing.
Change
really
your vibration
powerful.
and you alter your community's vibration to spread the love. Thank you, Trish. That's a great comment.
Yeah, Trish Chester's runs a business called 2J Break Free.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You'd have a lot
It's
in
so
common.
good to see. Yeah, no doubt. It's so good to see a lot of us sort of breaking out and with businesses that are really concentrating on this. This is a great thing. Not going down to the doctor and give me another pill, give me another pill. How about we fix this long term, right?
Let's get to the root cause.
Yeah, not the Band-Aid. Let's find the root cause.
And the beautiful thing is once we start going to these root causes, we're breaking these energetic patterns within our being and we're not passing them on.
Yeah.
We're not continuing these same energetic processes on to the next generation, on to our loved ones, on to our community. Change your vibration, alter your community. It's so true. It is so true.
Community.
And
it is an important word, right?
I want to say something else as well is whilst I was in Bali this second time with my husband, I actually ran into staying at the same resort. And this is all vibrational as well, right? The gentleman from the men's shed in Nanup. And I said, I know you from somewhere. And they said, we are from Nanup. And I went, oh, yes, you're the men's shed person. So that vibration that Adele's putting out there, right?
Yeah.
And community is coming through. Because I remember him asking a question to you as well, if if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yes.
And it just twigged then when Trish said something about vibrations and bringing it into the community, how it all just keeps, and this is why they say 6 degrees of separation, I think, it's all vibrational. Yeah, very, very cool.
That's why I say if we can awaken curiosity, that's all that's needed.
Yeah.
Awaken curiosity. I love that.
Awaken curiosity. Curiosity is the key to just extreme change.
Can we get that on a t-shirt? That is just spot on. I like
What would
that.
it say? Awaken curiosity.
Yeah, I love that.
It's true, because that's all it was. There was a curiosity. There was a curiosity that brought him over, and that curiosity opened something really beautiful for that gentleman.
You have to be honest, though. I mean, 3-year-olds are very annoying. But why? But why? But why?
And what do we shut down? What do we shut down? You think about from such a young age what we're shutting down.
So I know what you're saying, because it is annoying, but
after 20 times, yeah.
Yeah, but why is one of the most important words in the English language. I want everything to be questioned, okay? Yeah, just don't accept. That's the question. Give me some evidence.
What's the fundamental of nursing?
Yeah, there we
Science.
go.
Science. You ask, and you ask again, and then even when you think you got the answer, you ask again, and you just continually.
Is it because people lie the first 2 times?
But it's the answer that I might get to myself. I'll bring a beautiful example. So about 1.5 years ago, I sustained a massive injury in the hospitals. And lost all motion of my back, rotation, movement of my arms.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a bariatric patient fall on me, and I had torn from C4 down to T6. So that was a really long road.
Yeah.
Really long road, a lot of recovery. And
your cartwheel out in the other room is even more impressive now. Wow.
And after I think I'd hit 2 years, I remember having one of my therapists say, "This is it. We can't do any more from you. This is your new life."
Okay.
And at that point, I couldn't raise my arm beyond kind of chest height. I still had consistent nerve pain, the whole works. I won't go into too much depth. And I remember in that moment, and it's a beautiful word that Tom will always use, I rebuke that. I will not have you talk that over my body.
Wow.
And the more I kept asking, why are you there? What are you trying to tell me? And that answer would change and evolve and change and evolve until one day the answer became really, really clear to me. And it showed me why that energy was stuck there, why those nerve bundles were behaving the way they were, why my spine didn't have the movement that it required. And from that moment, I literally regained complete use I lost all my nerve, and this was overnight.
No way.
All the nerve pain. I've got, if anyone goes onto my personal Facebook page, there is a video of me in my pajamas with my undies hanging out, literally just going, and you can see it in my eyes. My mind has just blown because I woke up to do my normal routine, which is the normal stretches to stop the nerve. And there's just this moment where I've gone, oh my goodness. And that was 2 years of me working on myself.
Yep.
2 years of me consistently asking why. And if I'd stopped at the first answer, I never would have got to the end.
So do you have a conscious answer?
I will either receive, and the same, when I say vibrational medicine is every part of your life, I might sit and ask why, and I'd get a memory of something in my childhood.
Okay.
Or I might sit and ask why, and my brain would go to something that might have happened, a week ago.
Nice.
I might sit and ask why and have an emotion. And so every time I went in and asked why, I was seeing, feeling, thinking, remembering different things. But when I looked at them together, they were all telling me a picture. They were telling me a story. Okay. And that story was about things that I was literally stuck in and unable to move forward.
So how did you move it then?
Acceptance.
Right.
That's why I say it's acceptance is so powerful. We are our own worst nightmare. We get in our own way.
Oh yeah,
way too much.
So what was it you accepted?
For this shoulder on my right side was I had to accept that deep down inside I had carried a belief that I couldn't rely on men, that I was unable to be safe completely with men. There was a very, I won't go into extensive detail, but it was a lot around my beliefs that I had thought were my family's, my mother's, my grandmother's, my sister's.
Wow.
Because I started doing unconscious writing, so changing to my non-dominant hand and asking why, and all of these, it was literally page after page after page that came out. And I remember as I'm writing going, that's not me. Oh, that's not me. And then I had to just keep getting out of my way and let it come out. And there it was, plain as day, on a piece of paper.
Thank you for putting that into context, because I was trying to understand.
Yeah. And as the same, I've now literally had it turn up. And this isn't through injury. This is just a frozen shoulder that's turned up. And when I met Leanne, you know, that was my one thing. I'm like, oh, my goodness, this has just turned up. I'm not sure what it's trying to tell me right now. But again, my questions now, I'm getting greater clarity. And the images I'm getting, this is the disconnect between aspects of my inner child and myself now and what I am stuck in.
And that's able to open you up physically, emotionally, you know, spiritually, when you let go of that luggage.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
It's about learning to accept and to acknowledge and to know, and that's it. You don't need to fix it. There's nothing to fix.
No, there was nothing else that needed to be done. It literally was just saying like, hello, I'm trying to tell you something here. I'm trying to ask you to see it. I'm trying to ask you just to acknowledge it and then let it go. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to carry it around.
No.
You know, we all of our emotions, our experiences, every aspect of our life as energy in motion and as energetic beings, it's designed for us to experience and continue moving. Energy is never stagnant. It is never still. It is not designed to be stuck. It is not designed to be still. And what happens in life, we have these experiences and we don't complete that cycle and we hold on to it. We hold on to the stories, you know, all the stories that go along with it. And all it's asking is just to be seen. Accept it, acknowledge it, and lay it down with ease and grace. And it is amazing. You know,
lay down with ease and grace. And Trisha said, I rebuke that. Love this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is very powerful.
Yeah.
And a lot of another aspect of my nursing is it was heartbreaking to hear things being spoken over people's bodies, knowing, you know, when I hear this, you know, no cure. Yeah, I just.
Why would you say that over someone though? Why?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you leave the room?
Lifelong, no cure, can't help. You know, all these things, you will have this for the rest of your life. When if we just looked at what those organs, what those energy systems, what those body parts are trying to tell us. Yeah. There's anything is possible.
So you were talking about going off on another tangent. I'm going to go off on another tangent. I know, and I know we must be nearly running out of time.
Yeah,
but speaking over things, I was talking to somebody today for the reason that I'm looking for quotes to get different types of insurance. So life insurance, TPD insurance, total permanent disability, income protection insurance. And it felt heavy. And then those conversations, you know, okay, so can you explain to me what trauma covers, what this covers, what that covers? And then, of course, we're talking about all these awful illnesses. And then you've basically got to imagine yourself. Well, I found myself thinking, oh, well, how would I feel? Like, and it's all that fear coming around it.
And you hold on to that. You hold on to that when you are speaking these things. Your body does not understand. You know, this beautiful thing up here is not designed to figure everything out. It's not its purpose.
It's doing a lousy job if that's the job it's for.
We make things very, very complicated.
Yeah.
But when we start thinking things, hearing things, we start believing that it is so. You know, a beautiful example I use all the time is, you know, our clinical trials in prescription medications.
Okay.
So what a lot of people don't realize is in these trials, you know, half gets a placebo and half gets the real thing. What they don't print and what they don't tell you is that 9 times out of 10, the placebo have a better outcome.
Yes, I have read that
themselves.
Yeah.
The power of what you are telling yourself, the power of what you are thinking, and the power of your own belief, you know, it will heal me, I am healed. It will heal me, I am healed. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the power to do that
You
in
definitely do.
any aspect.
We do need to finish up, but I do want to just bring Prince John. Prince John has got a question here. Prince John, I don't know if you're related to anyone who's got any Nigerian Prince money, but if you can send it my way, I'd really appreciate that. Terrible email joke. Okay, now I have just covered up the screen. What do you do when you're feeling out of alignment or emotionally drained? Do you use your own techniques on yourself?
I most certainly do.
I thought so.
I most certainly do. There are days where I don't, and I need my own little size 10 up my own backside. More often than not, unfortunately, I'm going to be completely honest. But yes, when I am feeling emotionally drained, that's a big indicator that I've either missed some of my boundaries.
Okay.
But it's self-care. It's self-love. And ultimately, all that is for anyone is what awakens joy in you. What brings you happiness, what brings you joy, and it's going to look different for everyone.
Yeah, and I love that because I was brought up like old school, like a lot of people, and I was led to believe that if it wasn't hard,
there's another thing spoken over us.
Like
you've got to
work
work hard.
You got to work
for your money.
hard. Yeah, you got to work hard.
Do you really?
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
But weren't you brought up like that?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's spoken over us that anything good for you to achieve anything good has to be hard.
Yeah.
Ease and grace. That's what I ask permanently. It's like my life will be ease and grace. All that I need, all that I will ever desire comes with ease and grace. And if it doesn't, that just shows me when things are out of alignment and it helps me be on my path.
Gets you back online.
Yes.
I love that.
We do need to finish up. I do want to ask you, though, a little bit more about your business because I think this is important. I really...
Definitely.
I want to, it's important from my point of view is to promote people who are doing this sort of work. The more people we get doing this kind of thing, it changes the world. You don't have to have another super clinic with all the people lined up outside waiting for another jab in the arm, or another take another pill. I want people to have proper healthcare, and proper healthcare means looking at it from a holistic point of view, in my eyes anyway.
Yep, every aspect, looking at you as an entire being, every aspect of your being. So the basis of everything in my business is the love that I feel inside. If I'm going to be really, really simple,
I love that.
It is the fact that there is so much love that I feel inside me that it is almost painful.
Okay.
Wow.
And it was a really, really hard journey to walk, trying to figure out how to get that out. And by me being able to share even a conversation, whether that be through sitting in coaching, whether that be through silent acupressure, whether that just be through gentle touch, simple sound, soft sound, dynamic sound, I am able to share what brings my being to life, which is my love.
To get you to share, we're going to need to contact you.
Yes.
How can we get hold of you?
So I have both Facebook and Instagram. So I am Soul Call Healing is my business because I followed my soul's call eventually.
I like that.
Took me some time. So Facebook and Instagram for Soul Call Healing. And as of June, you will be able to, once I get the Facebook page going for the Nanup Wellness Centre, you'll also be able to contact me and a host of amazing practitioners through that Facebook page.
So one of our core team will put the links in so that people can contact you. What I'm interested to ask is if anybody is not local, can you help them remotely?
Yeah, so through, there's a big one I forgot, the Reiki. Oopsie daisy.
I was wondering, but okay.
I told you, it's kind of like whoop, 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 whoop. Yes, so remote healing, the sound I'm still not 100% on because that requires some pretty decent equipment to get the proper recording. Reiki I can definitely do remotely. Wellness coaching I can definitely do via Zoom.
Yeah. So anyone in the world?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? We've all got a phone. We've got the internet. Why not hit the old button and away?
And
you
although
go.
we are Edge Radio Australia, we go everywhere.
We do.
Wow, come on now.
Cool.
Well, maybe Leanne wants to say something before we finish up.
I just want to say thank you, Adele, for coming in. I appreciate it. I think we need to have you in again once this wellness centre is up and running, and maybe we can also hear a little bit from Tom then as well.
Oh, Tom can't hear us anymore
No,
because
he's
he's taking
taking
his
it.
headphones off, so we can say whatever we want
tell
about
him.
Tom.
If we can get Mr. Tom on this couch, I will give.
Oh,
I
there you
don't
go.
know.
Here
He's
Well
making
done.
words. He's making me eat my words.
Yeah.
now. But yes, I agree. Man, that would
That'd be
absolutely
perfect. Be lovely.
He's a pretty
Dynamic.
fantastic fella, actually, all said and done. And when you guys walked through the door, I recognised Tom from other stuff. And yeah, you know what? You're a wonderful pair. It's just lovely you found each other.
Yeah, well, no coincidence. There are no coincidences in life.
Aww.
No coincidences at all.
Let's end the show. Now, what I'm going to do is you're going to end the show because, I don't want to hear my bloody voice on the end of another recording. So how about this? We're going out with...
Lisa Byfield on The One Thing. Thank you for watching. Please join us again next week. We've got another fabulous guest, and thank you so much for joining us today, Adele. It's
You are
been
very welcome. It has
fantastic.
been beautiful.